is going to walk you through creating a cube, embossing your name on it, and inscribing some labels on it. Let's get started. We're going to open a new tab in a browser and type in OnShape.com. So from here, you can find the sign-in link in the upper right corner of the window. And when I click on it, my browser remembers my login. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And from here, I'm going to choose to create a new document. Here we go. Create document. I'm going to call it my name and the word cube. And this takes me into a new OnShape window. First step is I'm going to choose to make a sketch. When I click sketch, it asks me what plane do I want to sketch on. I could choose the front facing plane, the top facing plane, or the right facing plane. I'm going to choose the front. So if I click anywhere in this front area, that should work just fine. And I'm also going to click on the front of the view cube so that I'm looking straight on at the front plane. There we go. Next, to create a cube, I'm going to come over to the corner rectangle tool, but I'm actually going to click on this little arrow next to the rectangle because I want to make a center point rectangle. I'll click on center point rectangle. And next step is to show where I want to start my center point of the rectangle. I'm actually going to choose the origin. We're creating our cubes right on the origin. I click once, and now I'm going to move and drag my mouse out to a corner. I'm aiming for a 3" by 3" by 3" cube. So I don't have to be precise at this point. I can click right about here. And once I click down, I have this editable text box here where I can go ahead and type in the dimension that I want for the width of my cube, or the width of this square at least. I'm going to choose 3. And then when I press tab, I see 3 inches. I'm going to press return. And notice I'm now at 3 inches across, and I have a new editable text box for the height. I'm also going to simply press the number 3 and press return. And now I have a text box, I have a box here that is 3 by 3. My new center point rectangle happens to be a square, 3 inches across and 3 inches tall. That is all I need to do right here. I can accept my sketch with this green check mark box. And I'm going to look at my new center point rectangle from the isometric vantage point. I want to make this single face into a cube. In order to do that, I'm going to choose the extrude tool. The extrude tool is right next to the sketch button. When I click on extrude, notice I have this blue box that highlights the fact that I need to choose a face or a sketch region to extrude. So I'm going to click right on my last sketch, this square right here. This is the face that I want to extrude. So I'm going to click on it now, and there, now it's selected. I need to tell what depth do I want my cube to be. I would like a 3" deep cube. That way I'll have my cube 3 inches wide, 3 inches tall, and 3 inches deep. So now that I've defined the depth of my cube, I can choose OK. I'm going to choose this check mark to accept the extrusion, and it really looks like a cube now. Awesome. The next step in this project is for you to emboss your name on the top and bottom of the cube. In order to get that started, we need to make another sketch. So we're going to sketch, what plane do I want to sketch on? Well, I'm going to sketch my name on the top of the cube. I've chosen the top. I want to actually look directly at the top again, so let me click there. And let me start typing my name by choosing the text tool. Here's the text tool. I'm going to click where I want the upper left corner of the text box to be. Now I'm dragging to where I want the lower right corner of the text box to be. When I pick up my mouse, I get this box where I can type in what I would like to be in the text box. So I'm going to type my name, and I'm going to, if you want to, you can play with the fonts, you can play with the style a little bit. I'm just going to leave it as it is and choose the check mark. So that came out quite big. Let me see how I can define it so that my name is actually on the cube. I'm going to use the dimensioning tool to define where my name should be. So how far do I want my name to start from the left side of the cube? I'm going to just click on the edge of the square there. I'm going to click on the left edge of my text box, and that's going to start planning a dimension. I'm going to have the dimensions defined outside of the surface of the cube. And I think I'm just going to make this 1/4 of an inch, 0.25 from the edge. Now I'm going to also define where my right side of my name should end. I still have the dimensioning tool selected here. I'm going to click on the right edge of the cube. I'm going to click on the right edge of the text box. And up here, I'm going to choose negative 0.25. And I'm choosing a negative number because I want the edge to be inside of the cube. So when I do that, there we go. That's just what I wanted. I have a margin here of 1/4 inch. I have a margin here of 1/4 inch. It's kind of subtle, but did you notice when I defined the position of the left side of my text box, the blue edge turned black? And over here, when I defined the right side of my text box, the blue edge turned black. Notice what happens when I define the placement of the top of my text box. I'm going to click on the top of the cube, and I'm going to click on the top edge of the text box. I'll drag over to the left side, and then I click, and I think I'm going to make this 3/4 of an inch from the top. And now that that is defined, the entire text box is black. That is because it is fully constrained. We know the exact position and sizing of the text box. So this is all that I want to sketch here. I'm going to click on the green check mark because I'm done. I want to look at this in the isometric viewpoint again. And I'm going to use the extrude tool to emboss my name. So extrude again is asking me what sketch region or what face do I want to extrude. This time I'm going to choose a sketch region. As you may have predicted, I'm choosing my name here. And I can define how tall should this extrusion be. I think currently it looks quite tall. I think I want it a little bit less tall than that. How about, I'm going to say 0.5, maybe 1/2 inch. And I will accept that. And there's my name. Okay. We're also going to be embossing our name on the bottom of the text. We're going to emboss our names on the bottom of the cube. If I look at the bottom, I would basically want to do the exact same process. Why don't we go through it again for practice? We're going to make a new sketch. I'm going to choose a face. I need to choose the bottom of the cube here. And I'm just going to click on bottom so I can get a nice square on perspective of the bottom of the cube. Now that I'm in my sketch, I have access to the text tool. Let me click there. I'm going to click down to define the upper left corner of the text box. I'm dragging to where I want the lower right corner of the text box to be. And I will type in Mrs. Ayala. Let me accept my sketch here. And again, I need to define my dimensions. Here's my dimension tool. I'll click on the left side of the cube and the left side of my name. Put it down here this time, and I'm going to go for the 1/4 inch again. I'm again going to define here the right side of my name, the right side of the cube. Go for a 1/4 inch. And I'm going to select the top edge of the cube, the top edge of my name. And I think I'll do 3/4 of an inch again. Make it consistent. Okay. All right. So let me see if I can get us to look at the perspective where we can really see it. Okay. I want to extrude and click on my name again and choose, I'm going to try just, how about 0.2? We'll have it stick out a little bit less on the bottom. And choose accept. And I see my name is embossed on the bottom of the cube. Perfect. The other part of your assignment is to inscribe a label on every side of the cube. And the label should tell what side we have inscribed. So why don't we inscribe the bottom of the cube? That means making another sketch. And we're going to inscribe on the bottom of the cube. I'm going to grab the text tool. I'll make another text area here. I'm writing the word B-O-T-T-O-M, bottom, to mark the bottom of the cube. Let me do some dimensioning again from the left side to the left side of the text box. I think I'll make that 1/2 inch. And then from the right side of the cube to the right side of the text box, I'm going to define that as -1/2 inch here. Whoops. -1/2 inch. So that way we are inside of the cube. And I think I'll define from the lower edge of the cube to the lower edge of the text box as, how about 0.75, 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So we have fully defined our label here. I'm going to accept the sketch. And now I'm going to tilt up again a little bit. I'm going to do an extrusion and select the text box that we just created. And this time, instead of embossing, which kind of pulls the text up, I actually want to engrave. I want to go in lower than the plane. So I'm going to choose the Remove tab in the extrusion toolbar here. And that's going to let me go below the plane of this cube, or this edge of the cube. And I'm going to choose, I think about 0.2 again. So we have a little bit of an engraving, not too deep. And I will choose accept. And you can kind of see this looks more like a shadow here to show that we have engraved into this face. It looks different from where we embossed, right? So this, once you have engraved the bottom of the cube, guess what? We can do the top, we can do the back, we can do the front, we can do the left side, we can do the right side. The front side needs to be engraved with the word front. The back side needs to be engraved with the word back. The top side needs to be engraved with the word top. The right side needs to be engraved with the word right. And of course, the left side needs to be engraved with the word left. So once you're done with this project, you will be an expert at embossing and engraving. I hope that this has helped you learn how to emboss your name and engrave your name on a cube.